Welcome to the Holy Shhh Podcast for NXT Vengeance Day. It's your boy Ron T the Icon,
It's your boy ABE from DET.
and this was live today
Mm-hmm.
from Washington D.C., the nation's capital.
Yes, President's Day. Or was it? I heard somebody say that or something.
I don't know what today is. I just know it's the day after Valentine's Day,
Right.
and this I think I love this NXT PLE that they put together. This was
Yeah,
pretty
it was
good.
solid. Solid. Top to bottom, no complaints. Uh Damn good show, man. If you guys aren't aware, this is the first of back-to-back post shows. As soon as this ends, we are gonna jump into watching AEW Grand Slam on TNT and HBO Max, and then at 1 a.m. Meatball Bro and Lights Get Engaged, and we'll be here to do the post show because we love you guys. You know what I mean? And Holy Shit is here for the people.
We got to be here for the people, man. And NXT Vengeance, they kicked off with a banger of a match. Stephanie Vaquer versus Fallon Henley for the NXT North American Championship. And this was a match full of submissions and reversals. And Fallon Henley did her thing tonight. Stephanie Vaquer always does her thing. And, of course, Fatal Attraction, Fatal Influence. You see what that is?
Look at you. Look, thinking about the movie.
No, Fatal Influence does what they usually do. A bunch of shenanigans. At one point, Jasmine got on the ropes and distracted the ref so JC Jane can punch Stephanie in the face, but she kicked out from that pin. And then later on in the match, looks like they had another distraction, and JC Jane kicks Stephanie Vaquer in the face. And after a while, Stephanie got sick of them, and she decided to pick them off one by one. She comes out on top after she hits Fallon Henley with the underhook backbreaker and then a corkscrew moonsault and gets the win. And she is your new NXT North American Women's Champion. And I said it was long overdue. What do you say, Abe?
Long overdue, well deserved. Stephanie Vaquer and her and Julia, they are head spearing this women's division that to me is very close to being number one. I mean, in AEW after tonight could possibly pass them up, but it is right now. They are the number one women's division in my book. Stephanie Vaquer, she looked incredible. I won't sit up here and act like shout out Lena. Lena L is in the building. What up, Lena?
What up, though?
But I won't act like this was just a flawless match. There was some botches, you know. It happens sometimes in women's matches. Fallon Henley is not on Stephanie Vaquer's level. The botches were not from Stephanie. It was just she's such a great wrestler, technical, the grappling. I don't think Fallon was ready for that level. And I saw it a few times during the match. But Stephanie's a professional. When there was a mistake, she covered it up, kept it going. I am so glad she is a new NXT North American champion.
And that is something I will also say too. It was Fallon did a great job. There were some miscommunication issues, but what they actually they do, and it's also a tip of my hat if I had one on to to Fallon Henley is not being able to not getting caught up in the mistakes.
Definitely.
Being able to fix it on the fly and make it look like it wasn't a botch. So shout out.
Shout out official Yoshi. What it do? Nothing much, man. Getting ready for the first of two post shows. We got NXT now and AEW in a few hours.
Make sure you get you some coffee because
hey, I got it. Right? I got this tea with some ashwagandha, maca root. We up.
We all the way up. So then after that, they were getting ready to go to the next match. And I just wanted to say this. If we can get a sponsor from Respected Roots for Trick Williams, because that beard was patchy. He was getting it. They showed him in the barbershop getting it lined up. He had all kind of like patches and stuff in the beard. They tried to make it look like it was smooth. I was like, all right, he doing the best he can. We all been there before, but get you some Respected Roots. Look into them, man. They get your beard looking right.
Definitely.
But this next match was actually a surprise banger, but which it shouldn't have been because Fraxium was involved. But I was thoroughly impressed with Briggs and Inamura. They look like a real tag team. They brought strong style tag team into display, and Fraxium took a beating and
Hmm.
did what they usually do. They pulled out the win in the end, but I was thoroughly impressed with Briggs and Inamura. I think they actually deserve this title, this title match, and they showed it today. What did you think, Abe?
Yeah, I thought it was a good match, and I've come to just realize if Axiom is involved, it don't matter who they fighting. They're gonna elevate that tag team to the level that they're on. That's what they did with Briggs and Inamura. But it was incredible. Before this started, when we was watching the triple threat last week, I really wanted Hank and Tank or No Quarter Catch Crew to make it because I was like, oh, it'd be a much better match. But today just really let me know, man. Axiom is for real, man. And we was giving them hell. We was talking about, are they the top in a top 5 NXT tag teams of all time?
Yeah,
I think they might be. I
Frax.
think they might be.
Yeah, Nathan Frazier and Axiom are on a different level when it comes to like a tag team. They're like on the same page throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then I don't know if I look like Snoop Dogg, Game Stag. He said I look like Snoop Dogg. I guess a little bit. Maybe it's the shade. Maybe it's the shades today.
Bro,
Baba.
that's like right. Well, some weeks we get Stevie Wonder. This week is Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I
As
think it's
long
the
as he's a
shade.
celebrity, that's all we care about.
I think
Don't
it's the
don't say he
shade.
look like
Yeah.
the crackhead on the corner.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
insulting.
man, I saw him on the corner the other
I
day.
saw him on the corner. Now he
But
on a podcast.
but I think that what they're doing is like I think Hank and Tank, they're building them up to be able to ones to take the title.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, Josh Briggs and Inamura, like I said, they brought in that strong style tag team match. But after the match, those 4 mystery men that showed up at the end of NXT, they showed up, and one of them is Dion Lennox, which was probably a good thing for him because he needed something. So he wasn't just a nice guy that liked to read books in the back. He needed a
Definitely.
little bit of change in his character. But one of them was definitely confirmed to be Dion Lennox. But they beat all 4 of them up after the match when they were shaking hands to congratulate each other on a good match. And this wasn't the last time we will see these 4 individuals. I
Definitely.
didn't expect them to show up then, but I kind of liked their presentation. What about you, Abe?
Yeah, I did. I want to say more, but I don't want to expose anything. We'll get to that when we get to that. But I enjoyed him, and like you said, I like him being in the group because he was lost in the shuffle, man, messing
Yeah,
around with Nikita and everybody backstage, and what's his name, Adonis. So
yeah, Ashanti the
get
Adonis.
him
Yeah.
in something serious. Take them dumbass glasses off, and let's be a professional wrestler.
All right, and we got the sick horror Kingman. He said that Dion was plotting all along. He might have been. He said this new group already caught my eye, loving the Black Air Force One energy. Yeah, definitely. They need
A
to keep doing
thousand
this
percent.
every week. Yeah, yeah. Just it's funny looking at how much that the Shield actually set up a standard of how you introduce groups when it comes to
Yeah,
professional wrestling. And long as they keep this up, I agree.
definitely, definitely. He was seeing how everything was before the show. His real face. Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. And after this was another match that was actually a shocker. It was Eddie Thorpe versus Trick Williams in a strap match. And Eddie tried to attack Trick before they even got set up, but Trick turned it around on him and handled that situation quickly. The match got started, and this was a hard hitting match between both of them. And Eddie Thorpe shocks the world
Yes, he
by
does.
defeating Trick Williams after a low blow, and then he put him in. And then he hit him with a running knee, and then put him out for the 3 count. So Eddie Thorpe cleanly, basically, because it was all within the rules of the match, cleanly defeats Trick Williams. What do you think of that one?
I was shocked. I was shocked, but Trick has been on this emotional roller coaster ever since he lost the title. And I've been liking seeing him snap a little. Hopefully, this will really snap him. So next week on NXT, I want to see Trick just lose it, wreck Ava's office, and I don't know, all type of stuff. And plus, with that patchy ass beard he had, he deserved to lose, man.
Yeah,
1000%.
yeah. Get you some respect
And
and
was
roots,
it just
man.
me? I know Eddie Thorpe. What is he, Indian?
Yeah, Native
It
American.
was
Yep.
something about Trick Trick Williams being whipped during Black History Month that bothered me. But because he's Indian, I let it pass. But something in my soul was not right, man. This is Black History Month. We deserve better, man.
Yeah, Trick didn't sell it that good too. That's another thing we got to say. Trick has to learn how to sell it a little bit better.
Right. Uh, the Horror Kingman says, I can't get behind Eddie.
I
You
will
know,
say this about Eddie Thorpe, and I want to say Corey Graves was saying the same thing that we've been saying.
yeah,
He just made people notice him.
yeah,
He did what
definitely.
he had to do to make people notice him, and it works. And if you feel something about Eddie Thorpe, it's better than wondering or not even thinking about him at all. So
1000%. 1000%. I agree with that, man. But Eddie Thorpe, he's hated. I don't like him. And then a couple of weeks ago, I realized this is what they want. So it is working. And I hate this little kid, man.
yeah,
Tatanka wannabe.
I still think you need to bring Tatanka in and have Tatanka be
Oh, that
because
would be amazing.
we did it. They did have a heel Tatanka at one point. Maybe he could be heel Tatanka manager or something for him or something like that.
Shout out. Let's hashtag Tatanka. Get this happening, man.
Yeah. Another match after this was actually Minx. Shout out to Minx. Minx's favorite match because
Right.
her new boo Ethan Page.
Yeah,
versus,
she was texting us. He looks so good. How old is he?
she
Jesus.
said he's an evil Clark Kent is what she called him.
Right.
So versus Javon Evans and Javon Evans tried to end his own career at the beginning of the match. Basically, when he jumped over the top rope out towards that doggone table again, the announcer table, and
That boy too bouncy.
almost completely missed Ethan Page. Ethan Page saved his life by catching him, but
Yep.
he went over the table after making impact. But he continued to put a beating on Ethan Page, but Ethan Page turned it around when he trapped his ankle in between the ring and the steel steps, seeming to maybe fracture his ankle, and he favored it throughout the rest of the match. And then Javon Evans started to rally back, and it looked like he was going to get the win, but he went for a springboard cutter, and Ethan Page punched him right in the mouth, knocked that mouthpiece he had in out his mouth, put him in a cutter, and then wins the match with a 3 count, continuing on the feud. And Javon Evans' mouth was bleeding again afterwards. So I guess this feud is continuing, and if I'm honest, I kind of like it. I'm glad it didn't end right away. And we already said like, oh man, Ethan Page is gonna job out to Javon Evans in this match. What's gonna be next for Ethan Page? I'm kind of glad he got that win. He
Definitely, definitely.
he said, oh man, I don't even know. I wish how we do this. He was saying that about
Devon is
Javon the Spider
Spider-Man.
Man. Man,
Yes. Too bouncy, but I enjoyed this match, man. I enjoy Ethan Page. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's coming
absolutely.
into NXT. He's the heel. He's getting over these young baby faces. I can see Javon Evans and Ethan Page down the road for maybe Last Stand or something, because that's the WrestleMania pay-per-view,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah, so Last Stand, I can see that happening. But I didn't necessarily care for it just because I feel like Javon was kind of, I don't know, he needed something, man. Walking around with his jaw broke, looking like a little biatch for months. And now you lose again. I don't know, but it is what it is. I know they're going to tell a good story and bring him back up. So we'll see where he goes with that.
Yeah, I actually think that I think it could have went either way, but I'm actually kind of glad to see Ethan Page not job out. It continues to make Ethan Page more hated and bring him some more heat.
Definitely. The Sick Horror King and NXT had been a better show than both Raw and SmackDown. And this is for WrestleMania. Hopefully, after Elimination Chamber, things pick up. I definitely think after the
Yeah,
Chamber, things will pick up, man. We'll know who's Cody's fighting, the Solo and Jacob thing will play out. So they're going to turn it up. I love
yeah.
you, Jacob.
He said right. Solo gonna be walking around. I love you, Jacob.
Right.
But this was a pretty good match though.
One thing I did want to talk about before we get to the next match, there was a segment with Soul Ruka and Zarya.
Yeah,
And that was very entertaining, man. And they're trying to figure out their tag team name. Clearly, if you don't know, NXT tag team titles are coming back. So I like this team. I don't know what name they should have, but
yeah, I don't know, but
I
it was
like
kind of
that
funny.
segment. That was entertaining, man.
Zarya trying to skate, and then she was falling all over the place, getting
Right.
mad.
She was too strong. They went to go clap the ice
Ice
cream. She knocked hers off, and then as a sign of friendship, she gave her ice cream. I like that, man. That was
Yeah,
dope.
I like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think they at first when they first put them together, I said it's an odd pairing, but the more and more they interact with each other, I think it kind of fits. So I'm excited for the women's tag team titles to come back to
Oh,
NXT.
this is a sad fact in the chat. All the black wrestlers lost in Black History Month, except Oba. Oba won. Oba
But we'll
got it.
get there. We'll get there. We'll get there actually right now, because technically it was A Town Down Under versus Obafemi. It was supposed to be a triple threat match,
Right.
but it looked like a handicap match for the most of the match. They were double teaming them, but Oba is subhuman, and he kept fighting back and almost getting the upper hand. And then they would they would do like double team moves on him, and they put him through a table at one point. But then Austin Theory started trying to capitalize off the fact that both of them were down and trying to get the pin, and then they had a little miscommunication. Grayson Waller hits Austin Theory with his finisher by accident, and Obafemi puts out Grayson Waller for the 3 count and retains. This almost got my breakout match of the night up to the end of the show, but right after the match, those 4 gentlemen that we saw earlier came back and they beat down Obafemi and left him in the middle of the ring. All 4 of them stood over him looking strong. So I guess technically all the black people did get beat up today.
Yeah, technically he was right. All the black people did get beat up today. Shout out Black History Month.
But what did you think of this match, and then what did you think about the segment afterwards?
I think the match was it did what it was supposed to do. Oba is a monster, and 2-on-1 did not matter. These are 2 former tag team champions. That did not matter. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Look who we got coming in here in the chat now. We got
All
Minx
right, Minx.
Mayhem who brings the mayhem. But yeah, she up in here. But yeah, Obafemi looked great, dominant, tossed around Austin Theory, and he proved Booker T right that he is no bread, no water, just meat. That's a big fella right there. And afterwards, the group coming out, they look solid but strong. I can't say all that because one of them idiots, when he went to put his mask back on, he covered his whole face. Like, you idiot. Get it together, man. Like, what the hell? Did they train y'all wherever y'all came from? But anyway, they look strong except for that one little stupid botch. But yeah. Great showing, man. Great showing.
So Minx just joining. We were talking about the A Town Down Under versus Obafemi, basically, because it was a triple threat match, but it looked more like a handicap match. What did you think of this match?
Oh my god, you know what? Like normally I've been talking about how I wanted to get on the NXT trip with you. And this is the first time I ever like tuned into a pay-per-view of NXT. I was blown by the whole thing. I'm like, I never really paid attention to NXT like that. I was a little confused with Austin Theory and like Grayson Waller being there. Like, aren't y'all on the main roster? Get out of here. But it kind of did seem like a handicap match because they're just dumbasses. Like, Obafemi took them out, like, with the quickness. Like, how does that even compare? Like, both of their weight classes is his weight class alone.
Yeah.
Like, like, it makes no sense. You put him up against 2 skinny white dudes? No. No. I was like, that whole match, I was like, yeah, dude, these guys suck. Obo's gonna win just because he's so big. And what Abe said, just meat. That's all you see on that guy. Like,
All right.
that's all you see. He was like
No
all
diddy.
buff. He was like all buffed and stuff, and I'm like, oh nah, this isn't even a fair fight.
Right.
NXT, why would you guys do that to him?
Well, also it did remind me though. I actually forgot how good like Grayson Waller actually was as a single star.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me remember, like, oh, you know what? He was pretty good when he was a single star. Oh, the guy that messed his mask up. Okay.
That's
He
my
said
boy Lucky Ali. He cool. We wrestled together back in the day. Oh, you a former wrestler, sick horror,
That's
man.
what's
I gotta
up.
check you out, man. Look into you, brother.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you
you
know what?
joining us.
I heard Lucky Ali was probably in that group. So okay. So we know 2. We know 2. One is Deion Lennox, the other one's Lucky Ali. We got to figure out who the other 2 people are then.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna get down to the main event, Minx, and so it was Roxanne Perez versus Cora Jade versus Bailey versus Julia. And for most of the match, it was a heel alliance versus a babyface alliance until Cora Jade decided to take out Roxanne and try to get the win. Then an angry Roxanne, as we know, is a dangerous Roxanne, and she came back. Her and Cora got into it. Bailey tried to capitalize. This was like a back and forth match. Um, a great fatal four way. Nobody had the full upper hand the entire time, but Roxanne Perez gets to a point to where she takes out Bailey with the pop rocks. Then Bailey gets taken. Then Cora Jade takes out Roxanne. Then Julia takes out Cora Jade and then finishes up on Roxanne and retains her title. This was a great match. This one actually is. I'll say if you watch any match tonight, I'll say watch the whole thing because the whole thing was good. But if you watch any match, this was my breakout match of the night. Minx, what did you think of this match?
Man, this match was like, it was explosive. Like, I didn't know where they were going with it. Honestly, like I thought it was. I for sure knew it wasn't gonna be Bailey. We're over you, Pam. Go home.
Pam.
We're over you, Pam. Go home. But
Right.
Roxanne, Cora, and Julia definitely some damn stars. Like Roxanne, I give her all the props because she is so small, but she can hold her own in the ring. Like Julia, superstar. They're all gonna be superstars, which leads me to believe like they're. When they move to the main roster, are they gonna do them dirty and like do them like Carmelo Hayes?
I hope not.
I hope not. Like, but for what it was, the match was great. Like, I swear to God, I thought Roxanne was gonna like get it again,
Mm,
but she didn't. But I think, honestly, I think her main roster call up might be very soon. That's why they're not giving her back the title.
I agree.
Definitely, definitely.
Hey, what did you think of this match?
I thought the match was solid. One person who like I don't really like her, but today she started to rub me the right way. You know what I mean? But Cora Jade, I don't
Mhm.
know, was something about her today. I liked her look. I like when she came out and did this little thing she did. It was like sensual. I was like, all right, okay. She got a little grace to her. Moves was looking good. Outfit was looking good. I like her not being a lackey to Roxanne, standing up on her own.
Yeah,
So yeah, Cora J really impressed me. But the right person won the match. You got to keep this going with Julia. Head towards WrestleMania. I liked her and Stephanie Victoria at the end holding the titles together, and I
yeah,
even like more Jordan Grace coming down. I thought she was headed to the main roster, but looks like she's gonna be on NXT. But hey, that's cool with her down there too. So
yeah. I think
women's
they really
division on
setting
fire.
up for they setting up for something really good. And Cora Jade, she's going to be down there for a little bit longer.
Yep,
Roxanne is moving up probably really soon. I think they did a really good job of setting up a feud already between her and Bailey. So when she does come to the main roster, she already has something that's set up for her. She's not kind of standing around. And I think just the fact that they do have those mid card titles for the women, that's a perfect setup for anybody that's moving up to the main roster or anybody that needs to take a step down for somebody that's a bona fide star, just so
definitely,
you can
definitely.
keep them on TV. And like Abe said at the end, Stephanie Vakir comes out with her new NXT North American title to congratulate Julia. They both hold their titles up, and then Jordan Grace's music hits. She comes out, stands in front of both of them, looking at both of the titles, setting up something for possibly for the future. So the NXT Women's Division continues to look strong and is going to be strong. Um, Looks like for years to come. I think Cora Jade, she took maybe a couple months to kind of get back into the groove of things, coming back from that knee injury. But I think she got it now. I think she's definitely on her way.
Uh, the sick horror. This is Mink's alley. I'm not for sure about the metal. I'm like
I'm
Rob
like
Zombie.
I'm
I'm
like
like
Rob Zombie mixed with Zodiac Killer, and I'm working on my movements.
oh,
Okay, he's talking about with his wrestling.
he
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we
you,
Yeah,
definitely gonna be checking you out, bro.
so you look like Rob Zombie.
mixed with the Zodiac
Oh, Rob
killer.
He's
Zombie's the guy
crazy.
in the movies. I remember. Okay,
He
now I know who Rob Zombie is.
Rob Zombie is also an artist. He's
Hmm.
Yeah.
crazy. Basically, he's crazy. Hit me up though.
All
We
right.
can get an interview in.
Put Sick Horror Kingman in Wyatt 6 ASAP.
Yeah, so
But Minx,
that was the end of the NXT Vengeance Day. So what are you asking, Minx?
you missed the first couple matches. Anything you want to talk about?
Dude, when I
Your
saw,
boo Ethan Page.
okay, first of all, he's like the evil Clark Kent, and it just works. Okay, it just works. It just works. Anyways, the Stephanie
Vicure.
Here
Bakir. I'm Mexican. I should know how to pronounce that. What the hell? Stephanie Bakir.
and
When I
Fallon
saw
Henley.
her,
Yep.
when I saw the horns hit on her entrance, I was like, oh
Hmm.
my god, this is so badass. Like, being that I don't normally have the time to watch NXT, like everything, I loved everything about it. So definitely NXT will be on my schedule officially now.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's because it's awesome. Like these are gonna be the future stars of WWE, and I'm all for it. Just as
Definitely.
long as on the main roster they don't drop the ball on almost all of them. Because I remember Carmelo Hayes was the shit when he was in NXT.
Yep.
But now when you go back, he ain't really doing much in the main roster. Like he keeps losing. You suck. Boo. Get out of here. But it's. I just hope they don't drop the ball on any of these superstars because Shawn Michaels got it clutch right now in
Yeah,
NXT.
he
But it
do.
seems like once they get called up to the main roster, they lose them, and then you're losing on talent that could have been great. Like, come on now.
I'm hoping what they're doing with Carmelo Hayes is building a slow build up. Is what I hope they're doing with Carmelo Hayes because even though he loses, I think he does have a great character, and I think that might keep him around a little bit. I could see him getting a title at some point.
Before we
I
I
get
just
out
just
of here.
hope.
Oh no, go ahead.
I just hope that they don't do what they did to. They don't do what they did to the Prince, the Demon Fallon. I mean,
Finn
freaking
Balor.
Finn Balor. Finn Balor was the guy in
Right?
NXT. And then he came up and he won the Universal title and beat Roman Reigns. So he should have been the guy then. Then he went back to NXT, became the guy again, came back, and they still didn't get it right. So,
Oh, never mind. He left.
what
But
was he saying?
I'll still read it anyway. Prince Love Wrestling said strap match in Black History Month is crazy. Main event Jody said incredible pay-per-view. That's it. And Zip Zap on TikTok said, asking respectfully, could Grace be at NXT to de-gas, meaning get off the juice? I think so. I do think so. I think she probably failed the main roster drug performance test. They sent her down to NXT, get those steroids out of the system. I
She,
agree with you, Zip Zap.
she does not. She's not. That's natural. It's a
No,
natural
wait.
build, man.
That
It's
is not natural. Did you see those muscles the first
Yeah, they
time
ain't
she
natural,
like
bro.
not out Royal Rumble, like before
Women
Royal
ain't built
Rumble?
like that, man.
No,
No,
so
that's not natural.
so she was a bodybuilder. Is what she ended up doing. Like I watched the slow progression of her physique throughout the years. I've been following Jordan Grace for years, so it's not as fast as
Young,
you think it is.
I thought that until
serious
I read the
question.
report about her husband and him admitting to juicing. Come on, that she married to this guy.
Did she? Okay,
You
well,
said bodybuilding. You said bodybuilding. What do
mhm.
bodybuilders use? The
Yeah, they
juice.
juice.
So
I
yeah.
was, back in my lifting days, I was almost to that point, man. It was like no matter how hard I worked, it's just to compete, you have to take a little something. I'm not saying you don't like andros or some hardcore shit, but
Yeah.
there is mild things you could take to give yourself an edge. They're still illegal, but they
Mm,
just won't damage you for life like most. But
maybe it was a little bit of
it was
testosterone or
just a
something. I don't
little
know.
bit of test, a little bit of test. Yeah.
I think it was a good idea for her to go to NXT though, just for the fact of people that might not know who she is. The the people that actually are familiar with her are the ones that are watching NXT, seeing her. Oh, she did in the beginning. Okay,
But ever
since
since
TNA
TNA, she's
is
been
natural.
natural.
Okay, yeah, that makes
I
sense.
believe that because once you get it, you can keep it. But to get there, you need something.
Yep.
But overall, what did you think of? I'll say real quick. So you said a Stephanie Vakir Fallon Henley match. What did you think of that one, Minx?
Uh, whoever the hell Fallon Henley is, I don't like you.
Right. You love
I
cowgirl.
don't. I don't get it. I don't get her gimmick. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just because I'm evil in like all four corners of Earth. I was with Stephanie Vacure, whatever her damn name is. You know what?
Vakir.
Vacure. I was more for her just because she had the look. She looked like a champion, even though she looked evil as hell. But
And she a
I could see,
hardcore Mexican from Chile, South America.
Chile.
that means she's Chilean, not Mexican.
Oh, but don't they speak
Yeah, they speak Spanish too.
Does she
Spanish?
speak Spanish?
Okay.
All right. What
But
about the Briggs and Inamura versus Fraxium?
The guy with
man,
the skull.
I didn't even know who Josh Briggs was, but he was checking out my profile, and then I got interested. But when I saw him come out on NXT with like the
The
smoking
skull.
skull,
Yeah.
I thought that was hard as hell. I
Yeah,
thought
that
that
was
was
dope.
badass. Like
Yep.
I don't know nothing about this Asian dude or Chinese dude. But you know what? They did pretty damn well. But Axiom and that other guy, oh man, they were so good, so good. Another thing, like this is what I'm saying. I hope that WWE does not drop the ball on any of these stars when they go to the main roster.
They need to translate this tag team wrestling to the main roster. That's what I
Shout out
think.
Puff Dutch 774 about to watch AEW. Can't wait to see Kenny and Will. Make sure you tune in to us after. We doing double duty. Post
All
show
right.
1 a.m.
And then you saw the Eddie Thorpe beating Trick Williams. What about
Yes,
that one?
Trick should have won. Everybody already knows.
Yeah.
Next.
All right. So that was all the matches. You came in. We talked about Javon Evans and Ethan Page. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you giving this one? I'll start with Minx.
I loved it, being that it was the first. Well, it was the first time in a long time that I tuned in, so technically you can say it was my first time getting back into it. I loved it. Like the dynamic of NXT has changed. Because when I used to watch it, it was kind of boring and I didn't get it. But now, Shawn Michaels in there cooking like a slave. Because let me tell you, this was excellent. And like as soon as I realized that I was into NXT, I went to go look for tickets on when they're gonna come out here for the next time.
That's
I'm
what's
like,
up.
I gotta see this. Like, damn. I give it a 10 out of 10 just
Nice.
for getting back into it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. Like I genuinely did.
All right, Abe, what did you give it out of 10?
I give it about a 9.2. You know,
Okay.
I can't give it a 10 because I'm about to watch AEW and I already know what's about to happen. I gotta save my 10 for that.
I'm
But
gonna
this
watch
was
it
a
too.
decent show. The botches is why I can't give it a 10. It was just too many for me.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's
Yeah,
too
there was
many. Bailey botched with Julia, and she's a goddamn pro. Why were you
Mm.
botching? You had the rookies botching, Fallon Henley botching. That was just too much. So 9.2, it was still a solid show, but not perfect in my book.
All right. I'll give it a 9 myself. I'll give it a 9. Some of the reasons why you said too. I think it was fast paced, but I thought they did really well. I liked the way that they capitalized on some of those. Even
Yeah.
I think even Cora Jade and no, it was Roxanne and Bailey had a little miscommunication, but they did a really good job at cleaning that up as well. But overall, 9 for me. I always tell people if you want to get back into wrestling, you need to check out NXT. That'll
Yes,
really bring you back to loving wrestling, and especially having some of those stars moving up to the main roster will keep you on from there. So,
definitely.
um,
Great
as,
show.
as Abe said, tune in later on tonight for him.
That's tonight.
Bob,
That's in the
bro.
morning. We
Well,
going
later
into the
on.
next day with this one, 1 a.m. God bless my soul. Help me.
You guys want me to watch that too so I could jump on?
Hey, feel free. It's
Damn.
gonna be me, Bob, bro, light skin Gaging, and Suplex Media.
I would
Okay,
definitely be watching it, but I won't be there for the post
I
show.
can go to sleep.
All right, until next time, though, from the Holy Shhh Podcast, it's your boy Ron T. the Icon.
Boy, ABE from DET.
His Minx Mayhem, Minx in the Mayhem.
She was like, wait a minute, what happened to your cue?
All right.
And until next time, y'all, it's the Holy Shhh Podcast. Peace.